The biggest disconnect is right now is average men are not desired by women that are average. Women have openly said, I would rather be in a rotation of a man of high value than to get with a man and do the things we're talking about building. So what do we tell men here in the middle? That's the unheard part of the conversation. These guys are starting to feel unheard, unacknowledged, and unmotivated because what is a life for a man who can go work, to be a cog in the machine? You're starting to see a lot of guys saying, well, if I'm not going to have a career where I'm making 6 figures or more, why do I need to go to college and get all that debt? I can't have her anyway.
I think the man's supposed to pay the bulk of the bills, take the bulk of the responsibility, and the women is supposed to make sure that man is happy, able to go out there and get that money and come home and take care of his family.
Well, you threw me off when you said the bulk of the bills.
I mean, like the mortgage, the shit you pay.
I mean, he paying the bills is what I'm saying.
Well, you gotta get something, Lisa Raye. You gotta get the light bill.
Giving them ass. What do you mean?
The water, but he giving you dick.
Right. If you're a boss, he's really supposed to be doing the damn thing.
A few moments later. So basically, Lisa Raye just said any man who can't cover 100% of her bills, including the light bill, is not on the market for her. And I feel like that's okay. I think we need to leave this in 2024, man. It's too many men and women who are putting people's preferences in the spotlight. And I think 2025, we need to start fresh. When a woman says, these are my standards, if you cannot meet those standards, it's okay to just move on and say she not for me. You ain't got to diss somebody's standards. You ain't got to bring nobody age into it, they weight into it, where they look into it, whatever they got going on. If a woman says, yo, I'm not going to accept a man who can't do XYZ, if a man says, I don't want a woman who can't do XYZ, or you got to be like, yo, that person ain't for me. You ain't got to shame nobody for having high standards because you don't meet their standards. Trust me, fellas, listen, it's women out here who taking 50%. It's women out here who taking 0% and will even let you drive their car while they at work just to say they got a man. Now, they don't look like Lisa Raye. That's a damn fact.
See, this is when you know a guy's pandering. Dog, Lisa Raye is 60. This is not Diamond from Players Club. This ain't that Lisa Raye. This is not Lisa Raye from the show with Dwayne Martin. This is Grandma Lisa Raye. This is 60-year-old Lisa Raye, bruh. Look like her? Yes, hell, they do. If they're in their 30s, yes, hell, they do. If they're in their 20s, you better believe they do. Even if they don't look like Diamond Lisa Raye, you got to be hard. Like, you just got to go and seek out an unattractive woman to find a woman that's in her 20s that's not more attractive than 60-year-old Lisa Raye, bruh.
A lot of times we as men talk about the women we prefer based on their physical appearance, based on their social status, based on their educational and career accomplishments. But the one thing we stay away from, because it causes such an uproar, is the age of women we prefer. Now, I'm not a guy who says you should be dating women who aren't legal. No, every man should only date women who are of legal age. And by legal age, I mean women who are old enough to have at least 1 degree. And for some of y'all, they may still be young, but okay, who cares what you say? So today I want to talk to y'all about 5 things you can expect and should expect when dating a younger woman. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Here's the real issue. Many men end up getting with younger women, 22 through 26, 27, with ill intentions. And they're not mature enough to understand the type of guidance and leadership that they're going to have to impart in that particular situation, so they end up just really coming in and damaging that young woman mentally and physically and emotionally. But it's because they don't know any better. Now, the first thing is this. As the age would belie, we all remember when we were in our early 20s, mid-20s. We didn't know shit. That's the same thing you have to know if you're going to date a woman that age. She doesn't know a lot about life. Now, we always look at what her intimate experience may be, and trust me, we don't want a woman who has all the intimate experience in the world, especially young. But that's just a small part of what makes a woman who she is. You have to know that her life experiences with money, her life experiences with hardship, her life experiences with understanding people and being able to gauge people's energy so you don't get caught up with the wrong people, it's very lacking at that age. And so she's going to have to be led in that way a lot. And you're going to have to be an honest and upfront man with her, because that's just what you should do. And not just with younger women, but since that's who we're talking about, we'll stay in that zone. Now, another thing about that is she's going to think she knows more than she knows. Because, you know, when we first get that opportunity, that freedom to go out into the world, we think we know a lot more than we know, because a lot of the things that we've been told simply don't hold up and don't pan out. So what your grandma told you when you were 8 probably doesn't pan out when you're 25. Some of it may, but a lot of it won't. And you have to be willing to let her go and make those mistakes and keep yourself clean. You understand? You can't attach yourself in ways that are going to cause you to be affected negatively by her mistakes. Not the mistakes she has to make, but the mistakes she wants to make, because she wants to do it her own way. Any aspect of life she wants to do it her own way, you stay away from it. So if she wants to do everything on her own financially and handle that, okay, go ahead and do that. But don't look for me to bail you out when you do something that's opposite of what I told you. Now, am I saying don't tell her anything? No. She's going to have to seek you for advice. She's going to come to you for advice. So if she comes to you for advice, you give it to her. If she does what she wants to do, you let her deal with the consequences and repercussions of it. The greatest thing you can do for a young woman or any young person in your life is to allow them to deal with the consequences and repercussions of their decisions. One of the greatest lessons you can learn. That way you take your decision-making process seriously in life. The second thing is, you better be in pretty good shape. Because when it comes to intimacy, boy, that young tender, she got some wind on her, boy. You understand? She can go and chill and be ready to go some more. Now, am I saying you're supposed to allow her to dictate to you the frequency and tenacity of the intimacy? No. But what I'm saying is, if you can't handle the heat, man, don't even go in the kitchen. Because that kitchen going to be hot, homie. We talking about the kitchen with gas burning at stove, boy. We talking about 6 eye over here, and we talking about another 2 burners over there, boy. We talking about 8 burners total in that kitchen, boy. That thing stay hot. And so you better be ready to cook. You understand? If you ain't no gourmet chef, you can't go in there boiling on hot dogs, homie. You got 8 eyes in there, gas range, Vulcan kitchen. Boy, you better go in there and be ready to burn, man. Because let me tell you something. That young thing, man, be ready to go in the kitchen. And that's just something you have to understand. If you know that you don't have any intimate stamina, just stay away from that, man. It ain't gonna be for you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be for you. Now, this is, of course, for men who are into having women in your life in a productive way, and not for you suckers that's out here just trying to run through as many women as you can. No, if you out here just trying to be intimate with any woman you can, just so you can pile up your numbers, man, go somewhere else. The Alphasphere ain't for you, because you ain't alpha jack. You're a beta male simp mangina. I say again,
you a beta male simp mangina.
And that's 100% true. Now, I will say this. If you can handle that, then you also need to know that she doesn't know what pleases her. She has no idea. You understand? And by that, I don't mean she doesn't know how to make herself feel good. I'm saying that she doesn't really know what pleases her. So you have pretty much a canvas there. And you can shape that canvas and paint whatever you want to on that canvas. And that's one of the greatest things about it. You have an opportunity to help someone explore what intimacy means to them and bring them to a fuller realization of what that can mean to their lives and how they can enhance a relationship. Because truth be told, intimacy is not just about you going out there trying to pile up your numbers so you can sit in a room full of other knuckleheads and beta male simp mangina talking about, well, I got 10, well, I got 20, well, I did 50 last week, well, I did 100 last year. Don't nobody want to hear that. The only men around here who are still talking about the numbers of women that they're intimate with are pure beta male simp manginas. And that's right, you're a beta male simp mangina, and ain't really nothing you can say to disprove that theory or to make that not be true. The next thing is you have to understand that she is open to leadership if it proves effective. You know, a woman can get to a certain age where it don't matter what she hasn't learned. She's just not going to listen no more. Man, I'm not talking about 50, 60 years old. I'm talking about much younger than that. A woman's going to get to an age where she's just not going to listen anymore. Not to you, not to most other people, probably not to anyone. She's just going to do her thing. She's at the point where she's like, okay, I do my thing. I'm just going to do what I want to do. However it turns out, I'm just going to enjoy life. I ain't finna listen to nobody, and nobody finna run me, and nobody finna control me, and nobody finna tell me now. Anytime you're with a woman, she uses a word like control, hey man, you need to fall back. If you try to instruct her or guide her, and she says you're controlling, man, you need to fall back. So you have to keep in mind that, man, that's the perfect scenario, because if you're a wise man, then you want to impart your wisdom upon the people around you. And if you're going to have a woman around you, man, then it's best to have a woman around you, man, who's open to receiving that instruction. Now, am I saying she's going to follow everything to a T? No, but here's the thing. You don't want her to follow everything to a T. You want her to follow enough where she starts to understand the things you tell her to do always pan out. But some of the things that she tries to do on her own don't pan out. Then she's going to respect your authority, respect your leadership, respect your wisdom. Am I saying every woman will do this? No. Some of y'all suckers ain't never had a woman around you who would be like this, and some of y'all have had a woman around y'all who do like this. You just ain't got the wisdom, understanding, knowledge to be a leader properly. So this is for men who are in a situation with a woman that they think is worthy. That's all. If you don't have a woman you think is worthy, man, skip past this one. That's what you should do. If you got caught up in this one, my bad, man. Maybe I should have titled it better, did some, but it seems to me the title lets you know 5 things to expect when you date a younger woman. I mean, I can't make it more plain than that. Now, here's the last thing. She doesn't have any understanding of what a true man is. Because at that age, if she's with a true man, she's with him. She ain't gonna let him go, and she ain't gonna do nothing to lose him. And ain't no true man finna let no young woman who got her head on right and ready to follow a man to the ends of the earth, he not gonna let her go. So here's the real deal. She doesn't know what it's like to be with a man like you. And you gotta remember that. Your expectations for her are unreasonable because she's never had those expectations before in her life. She's probably never had any expectations. The last man she was with, if let's say she was only with one man, if she's with that one man, he had no expectations for her. He had no expectations. So you got to understand that she doesn't know what it means. A lot of things you think a woman should know, yes, a woman in her 30s or 40s would know that. But this younger woman doesn't know those things. So the number one thing you have to have when you're dealing with a younger woman, man, is patience. You got to have it. You got to have patience as long as she's improving. If she's improving, you can afford to be patient. If she's not improving at all, you need to move on from the scene, man, and understand that she's not the woman for you. But more times than not, she will be improving. Now, this is all about if a woman likes you. I mean, if you're a paymaster or you're a sugar daddy, man, or you some type of trick, man, then this don't even apply to you. You ain't going to have the opportunities with the women in your life, bruh. And even if you thought you could, then you just don't have the wherewithal, man, to even step to the plate like this. You understand? So you got to understand, man, you got to be patient with her. You really are shaping her into being what you want her to be. If you go get an old school body, man, or Chevy or a Dodge or whatever you're going to use, man, old Caddy, you got to take some time, effort, and energy and resources to put that thing together. You're not going to go get it and then try to do a frame-off restoration and have it back in 2 months. That's just not how frame-off restorations go. It may be next year when you get that thing back from a frame-off restoration, but you got to have the patience. The same patience you apply to other areas in your life that are beneficial to you, you have to apply them to this area in your life, but only if she's beneficial to you. She shouldn't be in your life if she's not beneficial to you. And I'm not saying she got to be breaking bread with you. That's one way, but that's not the only way. She has to be beneficial to you. How can she be beneficial to me? That's for you to decide. You're a grown man. I ain't going to tell you everything now. You got to think some of this stuff out for yourself. How does she benefit you? What benefit do you need in your life? You base that on that. And since I'm being generous today, man, I give y'all a bonus one since I ain't give y'all none for Father's Day. The last thing and most important thing that you must keep in mind when you're dating a younger woman is that if she's into you, she's into you. And if she's not, she's not. You can't force it. You can't pay her enough money to be into you if she's not. You can't finally work her down and break her resolve down till she's into you. She will never be. Either she's into you or she's not. An older woman understands that if she's not into you, you can grow on her. She still won't ever really truly be into you like she's been into a man who she was into from day one, but she can figure out a way to like and appreciate other things about you. A young chick, she doesn't have that luxury. She doesn't have the patience for that. She doesn't have the perseverance for it. Either she's into you or she's not. And you know she's into you by one thing. A young woman who's into you cannot fight her arousal for you. An older woman has had enough time to have enough negative effects of just being 100% intimate with every man she feeling like that. So she's going to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more able to hold back and see what this thing is about and see where it's going. But a younger woman, if she's into you, man, she got to have you. She got to have you. You have to ration out intimacy to her, because if she into you, she wants you like that. And I want all you guys out here who are dealing with younger women to ask yourself, is your girl on you like that? Is she always showing you public displays of affection or trying to? Is she always trying to be intimate? Is she begging sometimes? If not, rewind this thing back to the beginning, play it at 1.25 speed, and you should get it.